Today's guest has spent over 40 years helping brands do one thing exceptionally well: differentiate. Barry LaBov is the founder and president of LaBov and Beyond Marketing Communications, a firm with a bold mission to inspire 1 million people with the power of a clear and compelling message. He's worked with some of the most iconic brands in the world. Think Harley-Davidson, Audi, and the Macallan. And now he's bringing those lessons to us in the nonprofit space. So in this episode, we unpack how to win hearts, minds, and yes, market share by uncovering your organization's magic and genius. So from overcoming internal resistance and avoiding the trap of sounding like every other cause, to refining your brand language and empowering your team from the inside out, Barry really shares wisdom that every nonprofit professional needs to hear. So whether you're launching a new initiative, reevaluating your brand, or as all of us are, just simply trying to cut through the noise, this conversation is packed with insights that will help you not just stand out, but truly stand for something. Let's dive in with Barry.
You have mission statements. They're no good unless you really use them. They're no good if they're generic. They're no good if you take your organization's name off and you put one of the other organizations in your field up there. And if it looks like, well, they could say the same thing, change your mission statement and have that mission statement connect to that uniqueness, that differentiation of who you are. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of noise.
Ooh, welcome back, everyone, to Missions to Movements. Today, we're going to talk about how can you stand out? The power of differentiation. And this is a really important topic that I am excited to have a new friend come on to the podcast today, Barry LaBov. He is the president of LaBov and Beyond Marketing Communications. He just told me this big goal of inspiring 1 million people with this message. His career is pretty outstanding. I'm going to let him dive into what he does, but I'm a big fan of books, especially those that can really shape and define the course of our careers and what we do and how we live our lives. And so I'm not going to wait until the end of this podcast to tell you about it, because I, as an author myself, understand all the time and energy that goes into pouring into a book. And so thank you for yours. The power of differentiation tells the story: win hearts, minds, and market share. And boy, nonprofits more than ever need all of the market share and awareness that we can get. So Barry, welcome to the show.
Dana, it's great to be on the show. I love your energy and I love your mission. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, well, give everybody a little sneak peek. I love to ask for the non-Googleable bio of yourself to get them a little bit of background on who you are.
My background started way long time ago as a musician. So I've been writing songs, creating songs since I was young in my teens. And it helped me grow into understanding how to run a small business, because a rock band is a small business. It's 3 or 4 or 5 people. You're trying to make sure they show up for work. You're trying to make sure they perform. You're trying to make sure they do something really cool. Yeah. And you have to then create. So that then, long story short, brought me into the business I have, which is marketing, communications, and training, all based around one word: differentiation. So our goal and passion is to differentiate products, brands, individuals. And we do this, Dana, and we'll talk about this. We don't try to create it. I do not create somebody's differentiation. I discover it. And that's what we want to do. And when you discover it, the world opens up and it's beautiful. And the other thing about discovering your differentiation is that's who you are. So it's a lot easier to live up to it than it is if you're trying to be something or someone you're not.
Oh, okay. So many questions right off the bat. I'm going totally off the cuff. There are more than 1 million nonprofits in the U.S. alone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Listener, if you've listened to me before, you know I am a big supporter of anti-human trafficking movements. And when I was doing my initial research, there's over 1,000 anti-human trafficking organizations in the U.S. alone. With the practices that you teach in discovering what makes somebody uniquely different and stand out, what's the process of doing that discovery? How can the nonprofits that are listening, the leaders, really identify that of their core?
I'll give you the 5 steps that we have, and it's our differentiator. I'll include one question that you can ask that's going to be really interesting. And you're going to go, really? That's a simple question. And I'll share one step of those 5s that nobody does. So if that can help you, great. So our step-by-step process is this. First of all, we call it brand re-engineering. So we're not trying to create a brand new brand. We're trying to re-engineer the way that you're presenting who you are. First step is what's known as a brand assessment. And what that means is, I'll simplify it real quickly. It's talking to humans. Okay. So talk to, and more importantly, listen to humans. So whether you're a nonprofit or for-profit, it's all exactly the same. Talk to the people in your organization, talk to the customers, talk to the supporters, customers, supporters, whatever you want to call it, talk to the industry folks, talk to the community, listen to them as to what they think you're all about, and then ask them this question: what should we not change? What's the one thing, maybe 2 things we should never, ever, ever, ever change? And Dana, the reason I share this is I'm an entrepreneur. You are. A lot of these nonprofits are entrepreneurial folks. They're out there trying to do something that hasn't been done before, and they're willing to change anything. And I'm going, hold on. You're probably doing 1, 2, or 3 things that are really great. And they are the things that draw people to support you. They draw people to work for you. So let's not change them. Second step, nobody does, and you're welcome to do it. It's called a technical immersion. And this could be at a factory, or this could be in a service center. It could be in a service company, a technology company. But we literally go in physically, and you can do this virtually, but we literally will go in and search for uniqueness. It could be, is there a technology being used? Is there a process? So let's think, you talk to human trafficking, because I've been very supportive of the anti-human trafficking movement. What do we do that's a little different from anybody else? Do we have 5 steps? Do we do these 3 things? What is it?
A framework. Yeah.
What is it? What's our process? How do we determine where we're going to focus? Whatever it is, we try to find those things in that organization. So look for, what are those things we're doing? Do we have a technology? Nobody does. Okay. Do we have a philosophy? Nobody else does, or very few people do. Whatever it is, find it. Our third step then is, and this is something you would all do. It's basically, we come up with the plan. We say, okay, here's the plan. Here's what we do. Here are the 3 things that we really do uniquely. We need to name them. So for one thing, you have to then look at, how do you name what this is? Or do you just say, it's us being us? Because that's not going to work. You got to say, hey, we are so-and-so. This is our process. And we call it, like I said, brand re-engineering for my company. We call it such and such. And here are the 4 steps. And this is what we do. Okay, so you come up with that. You crystallize that.
Right.
Now, all this work is being done. And if it sounds like it's a lot of work, it is work. But then you go to the stage that almost everybody starts at, which is execution. So that's where, hey, you go, wait a minute, we've kind of named this, we've done this. We should put this on our PowerPoints or on our website or in our social media. So you get ready to do your execution work so that you can communicate it. But the 5th step, which is the launch of this, is my favorite, because it starts with launching it to the most important people. Your employees, your team, your donors, your supporters, and you celebrate it.
Yes.
You celebrate it. You don't say, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know, we have a new logo and we've got this thing we're calling such and such, just in case. No. You gather people around and you celebrate it. You let the people who work with you, who volunteer, know that what they're doing is actually meaningful. They're actually
That's right.
doing something of significance. Those are the 5 steps.
Amazing. Thank you for breaking those down. And where my mind goes is my jam is in recurring giving and helping organizations build really successful, thriving, monthly recurring giving programs. And
Hmm.
you are speaking to my soul when you talk about this celebrate. Like when you launch a monthly giving program, it has a name, there's specific
Yes.
dollar amounts for it. You're calling in a community. When you create it, you have to your point, it's celebrated. If you don't bring the
Yes.
energy around it, then no one else is going to have it if you don't
Oh,
have it. I mean, one of my favorite stories is people ask, this podcast is 3 years old. When it launched, I was number like 26 or something on all marketing podcasts.
mm,
And people are like, how did you do that? And I said, I celebrated the heck out of it. I had direct mail go out to the people on my email list. I celebrated along my birthday party. It was also the 5-year anniversary at the time of my business. So it was like as big as it could be. And you have to embody that. And if people,
yes.
like, I love how the very beginning of this podcast, you're like, I love your energy. And I feel like
Mhm.
if you don't bring that to what you're doing, then you're definitely not going to get that from people who are hearing about it virtually on a screen.
You're so right. 2 things for the audience. Number 1, Dana just said this, name it. All right. Many of us have children. We don't have child 1, child 2, and child 3. We have children with names. And then somebody will say, well, how come you named her that? And you say, oh, well, my
Mm,
mom, blah, blah. Okay.
that's
Now
right.
there's a story.
That's
And then they
right.
go, well, what kind of a person is she? You tell about her. Okay. Well, that's our differentiation that we want to share. It's called blank. This is why we called it blank. This is what we do. So that's number 1. And I think the other thing, because I do a lot of philanthropic and nonprofit work, is too many nonprofits kind of think, well, we really have a, really good cause. So people will figure this out. And it's like, no, they won't. They will
Yeah.
not. You have to
We're just
assume
so
they won't.
busy.
And you have to ask, will you help us? And you don't apologize. Don't go, well, I don't want to ask for money and I don't want to. Well, no, wait a minute. We're doing great things. And you have been such a great supporter.
That's
We
right.
want to celebrate. Look what your difference has made. And you're
I
going,
would say you're
wow,
giving the gift for them to give and live charitably. And if they don't
absolutely.
want to be a part of that, then that's okay. Then
That's
they don't
okay.
have to. And maybe not right now, but maybe not. Is your donation page leaking donors? According to iDonate, roughly 89% of visitors leave your donation page without giving. That's not a traffic problem, that's a conversion gap. iDonate's new pop up donation form is built to fix the CVR gap. It's mobile first, moment driven, and appears right when inspiration strikes on blogs, campaign pages, or stories. More donors, same traffic, less friction. iDonate lets you control the strategy, the voice, and the design. To see it in action, you can launch a demo at idonate.com or click the direct link in the show notes. Okay, so I want to focus on going back to like your book and this topic of being a differentiator. And
Mhm.
there are so many organizations we talked about with similar causes.
Yes.
What steps can they take tactically to move beyond the mission statement to uncover that magic and genius? Like, I'm sure that discover part's really hard. I love the question of like, what should you not change? Is there
Right.
something else specific, like within this sector,
Yes.
that you think works really well?
Yes. Here's a great saying. I did not create it. I love it. Words create worlds. So here's what I'm trying to say.
Mm,
The words you use. So, Dana, this is right in that sector you're talking about. The words. So, if our mission statement is we provide value and quality and honesty and integrity, blah, blah, people fall asleep. Let's
that's right.
own a few words that are ours. So let's say you have 5 competitors in your space. They're
Yep.
all saying the same thing. Let's use different words. If it's integrity, quality, innovation, please let's not say that, because you know what? Everybody's going to look at it
Everybody
and
else
go,
does.
everybody's the same. But if we have rigor, There's a word.
Mm,
Who uses the word rigor? And you go, wow, that's interesting. That's different than
yeah,
saying integrity. We have rigor. We have such and blank. And we have to use words to help allow us to create the world we want, where somebody says, oh, you're the people that do blank. Like
that's
when
right.
we started our show and I said, my company focuses on one word, differentiation. Okay, well,
Right.
that's 6 syllables, 15 letters. It's hard to pronounce. Wait a minute, but we're the only people that do. Okay, we're the differentiation people. Okay, who are the people behind your nonprofit? And that's what you have to be. You have to be the blank people.
That's
The
right.
closer you
Oh, I
get to
love
it.
that you're saying that.
Yeah, and Dana, it's not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Just get closer and you're going to do better.
Well, and what it is it's simplifying it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the
Yeah.
organizations that always come top of mind are the ones where you can easily be like, oh, they do blank, blank. It's not a
Yes.
long listed sentence. And I know many organizations, you are doing multiple things, you have multiple programs, but at the
Yeah.
core, what are you doing? And the ones that we know usually have a very clear stance of we want clean water. We're trying to end hunger. Just make it like super simple and clean with your, and then your mission statements have those like defining words that are uniquely yours.
Right. You've got to have confidence and exude confidence that your cause, your
Yes.
belief is valuable. Use words that inspire and instill that confidence.
Can you share a couple examples? So I'm going to throw out some brands that
Mhm.
people might recognize that
Sure.
you've worked with,
Sure.
like Harley-Davidson, like
Right.
Audi, like
Yeah.
Macallan. So these brands definitely stand out. What are some of the lessons that nonprofits can apply to really build recognizable identities?
All right. So Harley Davidson, I've worked with them for 15, 20 years. They are fantastic. What a great brand, right? Well, they understand that they are not perfect. So they differentiate, but they're not worried, like I think a lot of us are. Oh, we're not the best. We're not the big. Well, we're not the. Harley doesn't worry about that. They don't say, hey, we have the lowest price product. We're the fastest. We're the innovative leader. We're blah, blah, all the garbage everybody else says. They have focused on the couple of things they do. And one is when you buy a Harley Davidson, you are joining a brotherhood
Mhm.
and sisterhood of fellow riders who will become your buddies. Okay. So what Harley is telling all of us is get off this worry about being perfect. Get off this worry about having the cheapest or the what. Don't do that. Let's focus on what we do at our best. One other thing I would share is regarding Macallan Scotch. They're the most expensive, highest quality Scotch in the world. And one thing we help them with and help train many of their people who represent them with is the process to create that Scotch because, it
Mm,
doesn't just bubble up. It
right.
literally will take over 100 years to create a bottle of their scotch. If you really add up the acorn falling from the tree and they're going to make a barrel from that and all this. Okay. So if we can describe that process and say, look, this is what we go
Yeah.
through to create this, then it's worth paying that little extra bit of money. And by the way, when you do this, everybody, and you tell the story behind why and how you created this product or service, people can taste it. Oh, it tastes so much better
Yes.
because of it. Okay. We have to give people a chance to appreciate all those steps we're going to do something phenomenal.
That's right. Do you ever work with the leaders in these organizations on their personal brand stories when they go out and speak on behalf of their organization?
I work with them often. And what is so important for them to make sure they communicate is to step aside from profit and loss, step aside from pure business discussion, and focus on the audience, which generally either will be their customers or their employees, and to talk about and to identify, not just fabricate, but to talk about and identify the steps and the tasks that they're taking to make sure, for instance, their employees are safe, or to make sure that they're creating an environment where people are proud of what they do, or celebrating those little things that are going on and saying those are really not little. Those are very, very important. And what you're doing makes everything else we do possible. So yes, I do. It's making sure you humanize your statement. The other thing I do, Dana, and most of the CEOs I work with are really great people. Very few of them are people where I go, boy, this person's a little difficult, because we choose our own clients. So we choose people who are really good. But the other thing is for them to realize that it's far better, and this is really important for your audience, it's far better to be transparent and open than it is to go, well, I don't have the exact answers yet on this one thing, so I'm not going to say anything, because here's a rule, and I'll share it with the audience. When there is a void of communication, people fill that void with negativity.
That's right. Or they're going to make up their own answers of what could be happening.
Right. So let's say your nonprofit is struggling right now. If you get up there and say, oh, everything's great, blah, 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 and you go like that, somebody's going to say, I noticed she didn't mention that their last board meeting, they talked about ... I bet that's because... Instead, go, hey, at our last board meeting, we talked about such and such because this is what's going on. So here's what we're doing to do that. You have my word. We're going to do blah, 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 and ... And with your help, we'll get there. Then people go, okay, that's good. So you have to be transparent. And that's what I work with the leaders of these different organizations.
Not all donation forms are created equal. And not every campaign needs the same kind of giving experience. That's exactly why I had to share what I Donate breaks down in this blog, the 4 types of online donation experiences. You can click the link in the show notes to read it through. Now, whether you're running a fast-paced social campaign for, let's say, Giving Tuesday, a storytelling-rich landing page, or a major gift appeal, there's the right format to match the moment. Think of it as pairing the right tool with the right emotion. This guide helps you align your donation format with your campaign strategy so you can inspire action, not just clicks. You can head to idonate.com/blog or click the direct link in the show notes to read it now and start creating giving experiences that actually convert. What about coming across resistance? So nonprofit leaders can often really face pushback if they're working on that, maybe that redefine what we're talking about here, whether it could be board members, you just talked about, staff that's been around a long time, donors that might be used to things like this is the way we've always done them. We've always had this event. We've always had these certain campaigns, but things aren't working, but yet just like kind of going up against a wall. Are there certain strategies or recommendations for overcoming internal resistance to help everybody gather around this new idea of like a bold, unique vision to really differentiate themselves?
Yeah, one of the top things, and when I talked about our 5 steps, the first one was this people step called a brand assessment. We will literally interview one-on-one 20 to 100 people and then survey sometimes 17, 18,000 people with questions regarding the brand. What is the one thing we should not change, as an example? Mm-hmm. And by including everyone, not just the people who seem to go along with my idea, but everybody, we will learn things. So the first step is to include and listen to. So let's say there's a board. Have one-on-one discussions with each individual in the board. I would not have group discussions because you can kind of get into a mob mentality sometimes. And there's always that one person that's going to dominate and everybody's nodding their head because they don't want to go through it.
Right.
One-on-one. But if, let's say you have an organization of 50 people and you have a board of 10, you talk to the 10 folks on the board one-on-one. You talk to a few of your top people one-on-one. You survey every single person. You survey every single donor. What is it that we should not change? Blah, 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 blah. Because one thing I'm going to tell you is You may change your mind once you hear all this. And the
Right.
big change you were going to make may not be made, but there may be another change that you're going, oh my gosh, am I glad we didn't change this other thing? But we do have to change this. So
Yeah.
I will, on a personal basis for me, I will err on the side of including people and hearing their voice as opposed to excluding.
How often do you go through an exercise like this with an organization?
Not very often. For instance, it could be once every 10 years, once every 7 years. It's not often.
Okay.
You do it right, you talk with people, and then you do small, minor adjustments or tweaks, but you're not going to change who you are. Like I said earlier, your parents named you and this is your personality and whatever. 40 years later, you have the same name and pretty much the same personality, but things have tweaked, let's say. And it's the same way with your organization. You want to get to the heart of what you really are all about. And why would somebody want to support us?
This is speaking so much to the heart of my journey as an entrepreneur too, Barry. So 8 years ago, I launched as a digital agency and I was doing social media, which meant I was doing influencer campaigns. I was doing social ads. I was doing kind of like whatever came through. And in 2021, I joined a mastermind program with about 15 other female entrepreneurs. And our coach asked one super simple, like you were just talking about your question, what do you want to be known for? When you are not in the room,
right?
What is somebody saying about you? And up until that point, I was like, gosh, well, that's confusing. Like, dependent upon what somebody worked with me on, it could be lots of different things. So then things that were coming to me were not good fits or wasn't something that I actually did. And so that's when, along the same time frame where I got really obsessed with monthly giving and the subscription economy, and now I only do monthly giving. That's all I focus on. The book, my summit, podcast conversations talking about monthly giving. All of my services are monthly giving focused. And the transition of my business over the past 4 years now has been incredible. And I love it. And so to you, nonprofit, I don't think we can overstate this, is understanding and holding on to, once you grasp that unique thing about you and being so specific, and make sure that once you nail it, everyone in the organization is communicated about what that is, because they are your microphones out at events, in emails, with their friends, at board of directors meetings. So it can't just be you. It can't just be the board. It can't just be the senior staff. It literally needs to be everyone that understands that unique. So once you have done this process, is there a way that you kind of like infiltrate the organization to be like, this is how we're communicating moving forward? It's reflected in our marketing. We're changing it into our website materials. But internally, do you have a practice for that?
Well, every day is an opportunity for the leadership to have what I would call an internal celebration. That's with each individual person. I am not a believer in let's have that one big annual picnic and boy, it's going to be great. You know, that's nice, but who cares? That's once. What we need to do is constantly reinforce. And you alluded to this, Dana. Use the same words, the same language. And by the way, if somebody out there is going, oh my gosh, I don't want to irritate people because they're going to get tired of it. You're going to get tired of it because you're going to be hearing yourself say the same 5 or 6 sentences numerous times a day. Your people aren't going to get tired of it because they're not hearing it that much. What we have to do is reinforce it every day. And it's more than, and you alluded very well to this, it's more than I'm going to let you know. It's, I'm going to celebrate this with you. And Dana, your role on this was great because you did this. So-and-so, your role on that was great. You did this and that. That makes a difference. I mean, you think about anti-human trafficking, and there may be somebody who is an administrative person at a nonprofit, okay? And she or he may say, look, all I do is I send out emails and I do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we got to stop that mindset. It's like, no, what you're doing is so critical.
That's right.
It's important. We have to turn our culture into that competitive advantage. And a culture that thinks that they have significance is going to come up with some really neat ideas. And they're going to make sure somebody understands something. And they're going to say, hey, come on, let's do a better job on this. Or, hey, there was a typo on that. We can't afford to do that. People count on us, whatever it is. That's what we have to do. So it's every day. It's not, well, I'll give you a great example. You're doing the monthly campaigns, okay? That's a great concept. Instead of let's wait once a year to go ask somebody.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You're doing the same thing. So if it's working from your standpoint on a monthly basis, why would a leader not on a daily basis be reinforcing that message? That's why one thing I'll share with the group, you have mission statements. They're no good unless you really use them. They're no good if they're generic. They're no good if you take your organization's name off and you put one of the other organizations in your field up there. And if it looks like, well, they could say the same thing, change your mission statement.
That's right.
And have that mission statement connect to that uniqueness, that differentiation of who you are. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of noise.
That's right. I just did this. So I have VIP intensives where I work with clients on customized, obviously it's a VIP intensive projects. And part of it was we completely did their homepage of their website with the idea of changing the language to really fit who they are, linking to Give Monthly as a recurring first. And they are an organization where their mission statement was on the front page. And I was like, when I read it, it had so many long, complicated words, phrases. And I was like, but what does this mean? What do you do? And then their name stood for an incredible woman in history. And I was like, where's that? The embodiment of her in the words here. And I was like, that's so powerful. That's so unique. Let's lean on this. And so we've completely redone all of the copy, to your point, to sound more humanized. Are there any, as we wrap, are there any recent relevant brand examples that you think do a really extraordinary job of standing out as unique and different?
I think there are many brands out there. So it's always easy to go pick some giant brand. Apple, you know that it's Apple because you're going to go see the logo. It's going to have a certain look, a very clean look. Right. It's going to be kind of fun because, the reason you buy an Apple product is to have fun with technology. Their whole message is we're at the crossroad of creativity and technology. Wow, that's fun. So they're going to have a creative look. It's kind of technology based. My point to you on that is, yes, you could say, well, it's easy to be Apple. Well, they had to become Apple to be this way, right? Because they started out as Apple computers. That's all they made. Now they're no longer Apple computers because they do all these other things. But guess what? Their brand is still at its heart the crossroads of creativity and technology. So I would look at them as a nice example. No, you're not going to go spend their money, of course, but they always have a look that you immediately know is them. And that's what we all want to do with our brands, even if we're small organizations. It should be very quick. Oh, that's so-and-so.
Right.
And use as few words as possible. Like you said, it takes longer to write fewer words. So once you write it, edit it down until it's down to 1 word, 2 words, 5 words.
Honestly, my trick for this that's helped so much is ChatGPT or Claude AI, input your brand. You have to massage the messaging a little bit. You have to talk back and forth with it as it's an assistant for you. But utilize AI to help you with this. If you're like me and you get caught in the wordsmithing and are just stuck and staring at a page. But Barry, we could talk forever. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people learn more about you and get your book?
My book's available on Amazon. Of course, it's called The Power of Differentiation. You can find me on LinkedIn. People reach out from all over. It's Barry LaBov, L-A, B as in boy, O-V as in Victor. And there's 2 websites. There's my company's website, LaBov.com, and then there's mine, BarryLaBov.com. So reach out. We can talk. We can have some fun. I can send you some free information on things. Any way I can help, I am here.
Amazing. And I want to just give you a shout out. So when I was doing some preliminary research, I went to the culture page of your company, and I have to really express my gratitude. This is recording off coming International Women's Day. And I'm just going to read something from their website. Since our founding in 1981, we have been 50% or more women owned. We value diverse perspectives and backgrounds. Therefore, our leadership team, clients, and supplier base are diverse and distinct. We believe there is no room for racism or prejudice. We celebrate diversity and feel it is not only right, but necessary for the best ideas and outcomes to be realized. And I just have to say thank you for that.
You bet. It's from the heart. Every word meant something to us when we wrote that.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Barry, for being here. Thank you for what you do and all of the clients that you're pouring your hard work into and with your team as well.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Missions to Movements. If you enjoyed our conversation and found it helpful, I would love for you to take a moment to leave a review wherever you're listening. Your feedback helps us reach more change makers like you and continue bringing impactful stories and strategies to the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, so you'll never miss an episode. And until next time, keep turning your mission into a movement.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope it was helpful and valuable to you. And I wanted to let you know my signature program, the Monthly Giving Mastermind, applications are open for the 6th round that will start in July. If you are someone that wants to increase your monthly recurring donations, but just have not had the time, the bandwidth, the people around you to do it, this is the opportunity. You can head to positiveequation.com/mastermind to learn all the details. I have a video that breaks it down. I showcase what we're going over every month. It essentially takes the 5-step framework that I teach in my book and puts it into practice that we do for you. So head to positiveequation.com/mastermind to learn more and apply.